Allo, bom dia. Hello, good morning. To Brain Injured and Bored. This is episode 14, week 40. We're about our due date. The baby's gonna come any moment. God, you should never get pregnant in July because then you're gonna have an Aries baby. Ew, don't do that. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Brain Injured and Bored. The lighting is really bad because it's raining and gloomy outside. There's no natural light. So I look pretty crusty, but that's fine. Who cares? I'm coming at you with an ear infection in both ears. Yes, ma'am. And I've had it since like a week ago from today or from tomorrow. And I've been on this antibiotic and the steroid and my shit still hurts. It still doesn't feel good. So I called the doctor this morning. Hopefully we get that settled. But this rain is not good for these or this. So yay for me. Luckily, I don't have any doctor's appointments today. I don't have to go anywhere. So I can just be in pain and have a bad day. Ooh, excuse me. The ear infection has really put a damp on my week. Did not have a good week last week because I was just in pain. Just hurt really bad. I think was last week when I missed my dentist appointment. I don't remember, but I don't know if I talked about it, but I missed a dentist appointment because my ears just hurt too bad, my head hurt too bad, and I knew the dentist was going to be hard anyway because of lights and sounds and whatever, and with this ear infection, it just was not working, and I fucking cried. I sobbed because I don't want to do, like, I do want to do crazy fun things, but like all I wanted to do that day was just like go to the dentist. That's all I wanted to do. I wasn't asking for anything like fancy or adventurous or spectacular. I just wanted to do something so mundane as go to the dentist, and I couldn't. And that really stressed me out because it's like, what the fuck? I still have so far to go. But we rescheduled the appointment for like May something. So we'll give it another try in a few weeks. Maybe in a few weeks, ear infection will be gone, head will be better. I can make it to the dentist. This weekend, we had a Brazilian barbecue at my house. David's parents cooked and they came over. It was really good. The food was delicious. I realized that I don't probably eat enough protein because I would like I ate the Brazilian barbecue and then I ate the leftovers for dinner that night and then the next day. And I was so full throughout the entire day. I didn't snack. I usually snack like, I gotta eat every 2 hours. Like I snack a lot. I didn't have to do that. So I don't think I get enough protein in my diet. So I'm gonna start trying to get more protein, I think, because it worked out really well. It was very delicious. I was able to like sit, oh god, my thing's rolling up. I was able to like sit and talk and communicate and like be engaged in conversation for like an hour and a half, which is very, very good for me. I'm very proud of myself. I think everyone had a good time. Nala, is she still back there? Yeah, she's right there. She also had a good time. I gave her a little bit of the meat and she was very happy. She almost jumped on the table. So she's also not having a good day because of the rain. No one in this house likes rain. We both hate it. So that was really fun. Also, I bought this game because it's like I played it when I was a kid and it's like really easy. You don't really have to think that much. And so I bought it for me and David to play. Sorry. And this game is fucking fun, okay? I don't care what anyone says. That game is so much fun. You get to like fuck each other over. And Dave and I have had a lot of fun playing it. So that's been like a trend that's happening in this household. And David has a short school week because of like Good Friday and Easter and whatever. So I think this weekend we're gonna make some arepas. I have the flour and stuff to make gluten-free cornmeal, whatever. And we're gonna try to make those. And we're just gonna have a good food weekend once again. I'm getting back on my cooking game and make some gluten-free lemon bars. They might turn out crappy, I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, I actually did have a topic I want to talk about. So Dave and I had a conversation and I realized that like I consume a lot of gay media because girls, gays, and theys, I'm included in that. The girls part. I'm not a gay or a they, unfortunately. But I just consume a lot of gay media. I love it. It's my gig, it's my zhuzh. So I was thinking about all the podcasts and stuff I listened to and like what percentage of those had LGBTQ themes or had members of the LGBT community in it as hosts. And I don't remember the number, but then it got me thinking, oh, I haven't talked about podcasts that I listen to because I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's all I fucking do. I listen to podcasts and audiobooks, and when I'm I go through phases of audiobooks now. Like I'll be really into listening to books and then not, because I just get so burnt out. I've listened to almost 100 books this entire time. So podcasts are good fillers. I especially love listening to podcasts like in the morning and in the evening. Those are my favorite times to listen. So I just want to talk about different podcasts. Now I have podcasts that I listen to as soon as the episode goes up every single week. And then I have some podcasts that I listen to it almost all the time, but if there's a topic I'm not super interested in, I won't listen to it. But I still listen to it. There's not really podcasts that I listen to like once a month or so. These are pretty much like, I might skip a week every now and then, but I pretty much listen to all of these regularly. So let's start with the ones that like I listen to as soon as that gets released on whatever day. Also, if you have any recommendations for podcasts that come out on Wednesdays or Tuesdays, I'm kind of lacking on those. I have some that come out on those days, but not a lot, not a whole bunch. So if you have any recommendations for that, hit your girl up. And Fridays, maybe. I think I only have one that comes out on Fridays. Anyway, okay. So I listened to a podcast called Something Was Wrong. It's about like, it's just this woman who interviews people, mainly other women, about crappy situations they were in and when they realized something was wrong. And it's usually, so some episodes are just like one episode long is like the entire story. And then there's like seasons where the story goes on for like 6-7 episodes. And it really focuses on like abuse stories or like really bad catfishing and like just manipulators and that sort of thing. And when you realize something was wrong. And I think it's very interesting to hear other women's stories in that. Also, she did one season with a father and son who were at Jonestown. And that I mean, something was wrong. And when they realized something was wrong when they were in the cult, like, it's crazy. It's really entertaining. I find myself seeing myself in some of these people because I have been in a similar situation, not a cult, but like situations of abuse. I've been in that situation and I just want to like, just be like, no, don't do it. But it's too late. They're on the other side. They're all so much better whenever they're telling the story, but I just get into it. And right now there's a season of a guy who's lying about being in the witness protection program. And it's like, I would never believe anyone if they told me they're in witness protection. I'm not like shaming the girl for thinking that because he had like all this evidence backing it up, but like, girl, no. Okay. The next thing I listen to every week when it comes out is The Bald and the Beautiful. It is with Trixie Mattel and Katya. And I listen to this one at night whenever I go to sleep. I'll listen to it because, okay, I listen to like true crime and some creepy ones. And if I listen to them at night, I get scared. I get creeped out. So I keep some of the more like lighthearted, funny, comedic ones to the evening. And I have a 6 p.m. cutoff. I literally have a time. I cannot listen to spooky things past 6 p.m. because I get scared. So The Bald and the Beautiful, Trixie Mattel and Katya, they kind of talk about whatever. They talk about beauty. They started to talk about beauty, but then they just kind of talk about whatever. I love Trixie and Katya. I love drag queens. So, this like ear infections bother me. Okay. Another one that I've listened to that's pretty new, well, not new, it came out like the end of January, is Violating Community Guidelines with Brittany Broski and Sarah Schauer. I love both of those women. They're both internet queens, and they're very funny. And the name of the show is very funny. Their first episode was about Facebook Marketplace, which is just fucking the Wild West and insane. And they just, each week they talk about something crazy on the internet. Not things that have happened, but like crazy concepts. So like Facebook Marketplace, and they did one on LinkedIn influencers, and they did one on what was that other one? Knowledge8. Like Creepypasta and Omegle and like all of these really weird internet things. And I think they're very funny. I love Brittany Broski and Sarah. I feel like I'd be best friends with them. I feel like everyone thinks that about them though. Oh, also The Bald and the Beautiful, they're both gay. They're both gay men. And Violating Community Guidelines, Sarah Schauer's a lesbian, and Brittany Broski is part of the Girls, Gays, and Nays internet community. So another one that I listen to every week, I listen to My Favorite Murder, which is Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark telling each other a story that week of a murder or event, whatever. There's like survival stories and bombings and all this crazy stuff. They have, on Mondays, they have a mini-sode where people write in and they tell those stories. I don't listen to that one every week. That one gets kind of boring, but the big one I usually listen to every week. And it's interesting. That was like the first podcast I got into. I got into it my junior year of college, and I really like it. I think it's very interesting. But it's funny because they were listening. I did listen to a mini-sode one time, and the guy that wrote in said that he was living for something, which, if you know the slang for living, it's like, yes, giving me life, you know. But they didn't know what that meant. And so they're like, oh, living. And so now they use it trying to be like hip, which is like kind of cute because they're older. Like I think they're 40 and 50. But it's also like, girl, you didn't know living? Girl, you are on the internet and you didn't know what living meant. That's just me being young and making fun of old people. I'm sorry. Okay, another one that I listen to pretty regularly. I've been slipping on it lately. I haven't been as into it as I used to be. And I wasn't super into it at all, but I would just listen to it regularly just because it was there. And now I'm not doing it as much, but I listened to it this week. So I put it Crime Junkie. Again, it's a story about a crime that happened and whatever. I just get kind of bored with the way they talk sometimes. And like, it's not a real conversation they're having. I think it's 100% scripted, like their interactions. And I just don't like it. I listen to it whenever I need filler, but I don't listen to it as regularly as I used to. But they did stories like from Knoxville, and I was like, what the fuck? They did what's that one story of oh my ear, Emma Walker and Riley Gall, who I graduated with Riley Gall, and he killed her. And that was really weird, and it was weird hearing something that like I knew about and was like not close to, not at all, but like I graduated with the dude. Like it was weird hearing about that in a story, whatever. Okay, and then also I listened to, all right, I feel like I'm gonna get judged for this, which is like fine, you can judge me. But I started listening to the H3 podcast when there was frenemies. I was all into frenemies. I understand my problematic tastes and my problematic behavior. I get it, I understand. I do not support Trisha Paytas at all. But I listened to H3 because of frenemies, and then I would just listen to their other episodes just to have something to do. And then frenemies ended, and I was like watching it to get the tea on the drama, on like all the whatever. And now I listen to it because it's really long. It's usually like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour podcast. And it's like really good background noise. You don't really have to focus on what they're talking about. It's just really good, long audio. And so I can like take a nap to it, or I can just like do stuff around the house. I can just lay down. It's not that labor intensive. And sometimes they're funny. And I learned about some internet things that I wouldn't know because I'm not on the internet as much as I used to because of my injury. But also what's really weird is that it's a different part of the internet that I'm used to. Like I'm very gay Twitter, very 100% gay Twitter. And they're very straight cis men, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just wish there was a little something else to it, but I still like it. It gives me entertainment. Brittany Broski was recently on it, and that added such a good element. She would say things of like things that I have seen on Twitter for months, and I have a brain injury, and they didn't know the reference. It's like, you literally live on the internet. How did you not know? Like one of it was I took the blue pill and the red pill and ended up in Roku City. I've seen that joke for months on Twitter, and they thought they had never heard it before. They thought it was so funny. It's like, your entire job is being on the internet and you didn't hear that joke? Anyway, I'm not judging them because they're on a different side of the internet than me and apparently Brittany Broski are on, but I listen to them. I don't agree with all of them though. They're like, sometimes they get weird. They get a little straight duty, a little too much straight dude for me sometimes, but I can handle it. Okay, and so other ones that I listen to pretty often, actually, all of these are pretty often. Never mind my categories. Listen to Morbid Podcast, which is another version of My Favorite Murder, but instead of having 2 stories, one episode it's one story, it's with 2 different people. One of them is part of the LGBTQ community, and they tell a whole bunch of different crime stories. And I like them. Recently they did one on Knoxville that I had no idea about, and it was crazy. So I listen to them. I like them. One of them really annoys me, but I've gotten used to her, so it's fine. Okay, another one that I listen to that I feel very cringe about, but I'm gonna explain myself, is This Might Get Weird with Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart. I was never fans of them on YouTube. I don't like them. I never thought they were funny. I remember that part of YouTube, and they were pretty high up there. I didn't like them. I didn't like their content. I still don't. But their podcasts it's funny. It's interesting. And so I only listen to their podcast, and I listen to it to go to sleep, or I listen to it in the evening, and it's just like a little lighthearted, funny anecdotes of what their life is like and whatever. I think it's very interesting, but I'm not millennial cringe. I don't listen to them because I follow them on YouTube. I didn't like them. I never thought they were funny. Which, like, that's not me saying, like, I never thought they were funny. I just didn't like, I'm just surprised that I like their podcast. Whatever. I listen to them. I listen to Sibling Rivalry with Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange, two LGBTQ divas. They're really funny. They bicker a lot. I listen to all of their segments. I listen to, like, their weekly podcast, and then I listen to, like, their advice section, a sibling advisory. And they had Sibling Watchery, but then they stopped doing that. I love it. I think it's very funny. I think it's very interesting. I giggle when I'm trying to fall asleep, but I start giggling. And their dynamic, I like it. Some people think it's like really, they're actually arguing and they're really annoying. I completely get it because that's how I talk to my friends too sometimes. So love them. Another drag queen one is Race Chaser with Willem and Alaska, and they recap episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race. And so I started listening to it because I have watched almost every season of Drag Race, and so I got bored just listening to audiobooks or whatever, and so I wanted to like re-watch those episodes. Do you know what I'm saying? So I started doing that, and then it got to like, I hit where they went to the new seasons that I haven't seen. I was listening to those, and I also listened to their hot goss every week. I love them. I love drag queens. I love drag. I know, I'm like a cis straight white girl who loves drag. I get it. Ignore me or make fun of me, do whatever you want. Okay, I also listen to, this is a really long list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 4 left. We're almost done. Recently, for some reason, I think I did this because I needed something to fall asleep to, and there was nothing new. I'd already listened to everything. It's Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Talk about straight man. Talk about straight men energy. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I listened to, who is Nick Offerman on there, who's from Parks and Recreation, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was a cute dynamic, and so I just started listening to them to fall asleep, and it's entertaining. I don't listen to all of them. I do really like when the like fans call in, and they have that episode where they talk to the fans about whatever. Those get pretty funny. I laughed and giggle at those. I'm not into celebrity things that much, but sometimes they have funny conversations, and I think Conan O'Brien is funny sometimes. I do. I think a straight white man can be funny. Controversial yet brave opinion. Okay, on that same subject, I listened to Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard and Monica Padman. Now, I don't listen to theirs consistently because, again, celebrities, I'm not really interested in every celebrity. I fall asleep to it a lot. However, the Armchair and Dangerous and the Experts on Experts, I eat that shit up. I think it's so interesting. Dax Shepard has an anthropology background, and he talks about it all the time, and I'm an anthropologist with an anthropologist, so like I get it, and it makes me really happy. He talks to other anthropologists, and so that makes me really happy, and they do like the weird conspiracy part, which I think is very interesting. And I've been listening to them for a really long time. I really like them. My face hurts from talking. Okay, another one that I've listened to for quite a while is This Is Actually Happening. This one helped me with some anxiety whenever I first started listening to it. So This Is Actually Happening. I don't remember, I think it's Whit Whistledine, I don't remember, something like that. And essentially, someone comes on each week. I was listening to it right before I hit record, and they tell a story that affected them. There's no interview, like it's just a story being told. And the titles are always like, what if you survived a plane crash? Or what if you accidentally killed someone? Or what if, whatever. And it's these people telling stories of this thing that happened. And it helped me with my anxiety for a little bit because I was like, oh, if this does happen to me, I'll be fine. Like this person went through it and they're fine and whatever. There's been some very interesting ones. There was one about a girl who had DID because her parents pretty much trafficked her. And so she developed DID from this, and it talked about her horrible abuse and all the terrible things she went through. And that episode was like so heartbreaking, but also it gave me an insight into DID that I didn't know about. So like different things like that happened. There was one though that I had to shut off because this lady went with a family somewhere to adopt a child and then brought the child back to America, and the child was like way too sick to fly, and like the child was basically dying on this airplane. And the woman's narrative the entire time was just like, I was just praying that God get us through it. It's like, this woman was also a nurse, by the way, and she's like, I was praying that she would do da-da-da. It's like, don't pray, be a fucking nurse and do your fucking job and like take care of this kid. And they had to like shut off Instagram comments because everyone was like, no, that woman is stupid. I don't remember the exact details, but like she was basically saying, instead of doing her nursing duties and like asking for help on the plane and doing other stuff, she was just praying instead, which like you can do both at the same time. Like you can do, anyway. And so then the last one that I've recently started listening to regularly, I was listening to it like maybe once a month, but now I'm actively listening to it every week, is And That's Why We Drink. There's a non-binary host. There's two hosts, one's non-binary, and I really like it. You learn like a little spooky ghost thing and then a crime thing. I'm kind of more into the spooky ghost thing than I am the crime thing, because I have so many other crime podcasts I listen to that I don't need more crime, but I don't have a lot of ghosts. Every once in a while I'll listen to some other ghosty things when I'm feeling it, but I don't feel it that often. And again, I get scared. So that's the one I listen to on Sundays in the morning. It has to be bright outside and it has to be bright for a long period of time. Whew, I talked a lot. A lot. But yeah, those are my podcasts that I listen to. A lot of crime, a lot of gay, a lot of internet. Makes sense. If you have any recommendations, there's one that I've been wanting, it's like on my thing to check out, I just haven't done it. It's called Ology, and each week they talk about a different ology, like a different subject that ends with ology, and that sounds kind of interesting. That sounds fun. But if you have any recommendations, let me know, especially for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But yeah, a lot of the like drag queen ones come out on Tuesdays, but I listen to those in the evening. So during the day, I don't have anything to listen to. So if you have any ideas for Tuesdays and Wednesdays, please let me know. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I need to put a hot compress on my ear, and I need to finish my tea, and all I need is to stop biting my foot. And I'll see you next week. Next time you see me, my hair will be cut. This hair is fucking long. I feel Amish. I feel it's giving Mormon, it's giving Dorothy from not Little House on the Prairie, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. It's giving, she doesn't take care of herself. I'm getting a haircut this week, very excited. Yeah, I will see you next week. Hopefully my ear will be better. Fucking hope and pray my ear will be better. And I'll let you know how everything goes. Okay. Go listen to a podcast and have a great day, I guess, if you want to. If you want to have a bad day, you can also have a bad day.